interview with Dr. Smith on December 10th, 2011.
Okay, today's December 9th.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. There it is right there.
Oh,
Friday.
Sorry.
Have you been doing
For
10th
some
all
reason,
day? You're ahead of the ball.
I've been ahead of the date the entire week. Okay. First question is, what was your path to the Indiana Academy?
Okay, I remember the question. Let's see. Who knows what I said last time, but I would say I knew that I wanted to do work that was useful and that would engage my mind, engage me with reading and writing. I wanted to be intellectually engaged and I wanted to help people. And so teaching seemed like a good thing. And after I dropped out of graduate school in philosophy, I eventually came back to study English. And I was, right after I finished my doctorate, I was teaching in Alabama at Auburn University. But that was a job that after the first 3 years, the conditions weren't going to be as good, the working conditions. I was always looking around for another place. And the Academy advertised in a national journal called the Chronicle of Higher Education. So I applied and I got this job. And I didn't know whether I wanted to teach high school. And I prepared to teach college, and I was teaching college when I got the job. But within a very short time after beginning my first year here, I thought, this is the place for me. This is the perfect place for me. So I feel it was very lucky.
You've been here for 17 years, haven't you?
No, I've only been here for, I came here 11 years ago and I was away for a year in the middle. So this is my 10th year teaching here.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you go in that year in the middle?
I went back to Massachusetts. I quit the job and I decided I wanted to be home closer to my family. But then for personal reasons I came back. And I'm glad I did, because it's worked out even better the second time. It's, I like living in Muncie more, and the job just gets better and better. It's the perfect job for me.
Do you like Indiana?
I do. I like Indiana. I never had been interested in the Midwest. I thought I'd like to live in the South, and I've lived twice in the South, 3 years in Texas, 3 years in Alabama, and that has a very rich culture, and parts of which I love, but they're very far from home. And then, so it was just the job that brought me here, but I find it a very nice and easy place to live. I think it's an easy place to live. It's a little more kind of tense, neurotic, pretentious back in the Northeast, although it feels home to me. But this feels people are just nice and regular and friendly.
So you started in Massachusetts.
Yes, that's where I grew up. That's
and then
where I'm from. That's
you
where
went to college.
In Massachusetts.
And then you went to graduate school in Massachusetts?
In Massachusetts,
okay.
Yes. Although it wasn't that straight a line. I did other things in between. I also tried a little college 1 year in Buffalo. And as an undergraduate, I spent a year in Germany studying.
That's awesome.
But,
did you learn anything new in Germany?
Did I learn anything new?
Yeah,
sure.
Obviously you did, but I mean, what
yeah, well, let me see. Well, the first time I went, I just lived with a family. It was right after high school, before college. And I learned that I was an American. I didn't realize. I mean, I felt so foreign to me. And I'll bet Germany is more like the United States than pretty much any other country there is.
Seriously?
But that's my sense. There are lots of Germans who settled in this country. I've heard that there was a chance that our national language could have been German at one point. It was being debated. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true. That's something. Yeah, lots of Germans in here. And I could be wrong. I don't know, all the countries. But I think it's more, for instance, I think we're more like Germany than we're like England. But what else did I learn? So I learned that I'm an American. That felt foreign, everything. When you live in a foreign country, it feels, it smells, it looks, it sounds foreign. I had to take a nap in the afternoon. It was so exhausting just trying to live in a foreign language, express myself in a foreign language and live there. I learned much better German. And then I just learned more about, another way of living.
How many languages do you know?
Oh, well, German was the only one I ever got really fluent at. I've taken classes in also French and Spanish and ancient Greek. But German's the only one I stuck with and lived in. And so I used to know it well, but that was... I lived there once in 69, 70, once in 73, 74.
Huh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. Question number 2. Which aspects of your work at the Academy have had the greatest meaning for you?
Okay. Wow. I wonder what I said to that last time. Working with students who, almost all of whom, I guess I should put my mouth this way. Working with students, almost all of whom are enthusiastic about learning, is just extraordinary. I taught at 3 universities, and the students range tremendously. Some care about their work, some just care about getting a good grade, but not about learning anything, and some and some don't care about either. And and whereas to be in a classroom where almost everyone is willing to work, willing to use their imagination, willing to be playful, willing to be serious, and doesn't complain in my hearing at all. I imagine there's a whole lot of complaining going on. But it's just it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced in a classroom. I really thought I'd died and gone to heaven, and so that is foremost. And then it's very meaningful to me to have so much autonomy in the classroom that we get. Some schools tell you this week you're on this page of this book, whereas there are certain guidelines, but we get a lot of autonomy deciding what to teach and how to teach, so it can go with where we feel our strengths are. Huh. And so that's a great luxury for us teachers, at least in that English department. And having colleagues that I just thoroughly enjoy. I remember telling you this last time. We amuse each other. We're always joking around with each other and just having a very friendly, good time, and that matters a lot. And being able to work with stuff that I care a lot about, which is literature. Sometimes I'll sit there, reading some poems that I prepared for school, and think, man, this is my job. I'm so lucky.
Really?
Yeah.
So would you say it's like a family aspect here with the colleagues and the students? Obviously, you don't know everybody. But.
Yeah. I suppose some people would use that word. It wouldn't seem strange to me to use it. I don't think it's one that I use myself. That's one that I use myself. I mean, I have a big, close family in the original sense. It's extremely friendly. I feel at home here. So maybe that makes it family. I feel at home. I feel as though I belong here. I feel as though I'm making contributions. It's such a small school and a relatively new school. So what any individual do can really make a difference there. Whereas when I taught at Auburn University, I was a little tiny, low-level cog in a giant bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. And so the difference is enormous when I really feel as though I'm appreciated. And it's very, so it feels friendly and warm, and I feel at home, and I feel really, really lucky, because I know so many people go off to a job they don't enjoy going to. Yeah.
That's awesome you enjoy it. And you can tell, with all of the teachers here, most of them really want to be here. And with all of them, it just shows. It's just their personal, everyone has their own little personal sort of way that they introduce their own topics. And that's what, honestly, the biggest difference to me was when, a teacher comes and, they don't just, throw the information at you, but they throw, a personal, aspect of it at you. And it just makes you, remember it so much better,
That's interesting. That's good to hear. Can you think of an example of that?
I know that last year you were really enthusiastic about everything you taught, and especially Shakespeare.
Oh yeah.
And just especially all the plays and everything, just I don't know when a teacher goes outside of what they're teaching you to tell them something that they've experienced within what they're teaching. I don't know. I just remember it so much better. And I still remember a lot of Hamlet. I still remember. And I still remember a lot of those plays that we read, and yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And what else was I going to ask you? Oh yeah, how would you compare the two atmospheres in Alabama, right?
Yeah, Auburn University.
Auburn University and the Academy. Obviously they're two.
Yeah, the atmospheres. Boy, okay, Auburn is big. I don't know how many students, but it's a big state university. Football is king. We don't have football is king here. Let's see. It's the deep south. There's a whole different atmosphere. When I came here, and just for my interview, just walking around the Ball State campus, I felt more at home because it looked more like the students looked more like my sense of university students, kind of scruffy, kind of in jeans, and whereas at Auburn. It felt like a different world because, for instance, I swear every Southern female knows how to make the best of herself, and she's just all sort of pretty and feminine, fresh and made up, and it just wasn't what I'm used to. Yeah, you might like it down there.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
And so there was an atmosphere. I find, and then in terms of sort of academically, I find it here much more intellectually alive. You find individuals who are intellectually alive at Auburn, but that to me was not the atmosphere that I felt all around me. I had one class my last semester there, my first, and then the following year I was here, And I look back on that one class and think, that was my academy class. I didn't know it at the time, but the kids were quirky and individual and imaginative and had senses of humor. And it was so much lively group. It was odd that I got this whole group at one point. Then in other classes, I had to spend a lot more energy trying to get people interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Shoot.
Yeah, so reflective people here. Reflective, curious, engaged.
That's awesome.
There
Cool.
you get that, plus a whole lot of other things at a big university.
Yeah, especially, and I feel like a lot of people just go there, it's like, I've paid my money, now give me my degree. And I feel like that's what a lot of that is. So.
Exactly. I heard a colleague say that a friend at actually a private university, she said the attitude of her students was, my daddy isn't paying all this money for you to give me C's or even B minuses.
Not the attitude to have.
No.
Okay, question number 3. What do you wish you had known about the academy before you began your work here?
I can't think of anything. I couldn't think of anything last time.
No, you couldn't.
So, yeah, no, I don't think it would have affected, yeah.
Cool. Okay, question number 4. How does the social dynamic of the academy workplace compare to that of your previous workplace?
I might have already addressed that, huh? I'm trying to think.
Yes.
So we're very friendly. There, it was affected by the fact that, as I said, I was a low-level cog in a big machine. There was a huge English department. And within that English department, well, a large English department, I don't remember how many. And within that English department, there was a huge group of us who were hired not to have tenure, to be guaranteed, to continue and to do research and to teach graduate students, but just to teach the low-level classes, the freshman and sophomore writing and lit classes. Most big universities hire lots of either part-time or people in the sort of lower status because they have so many writing classes they have to teach. And so I didn't feel that I was I was a genuine part of the university. I felt there were the people with the real professorships, and then there were the rest of us.
Yeah.
But among us, the rest of us, it was a very friendly group. So among us, we were very friendly and socialized a lot, and I made some good friends. And then I also got friendly with a couple of the real faculty, the real professors, and they were very, very nice to me, and I liked that. But so the social dynamic was, and we also, I think we complained a lot to each other about the students and about the position of the contract faculty as distinguished from the distinguished. Here, it's, I mean, not everyone's best friends with everyone else. There are divisions, there are different philosophical differences about what the academy is about and how we have to be teaching. And when we have faculty meetings about major issues that would make change or so forth, there are always profound disagreements.
Really?
Oh yeah, we disagree about a lot of things. Yeah, that's
No
I tell me.
kidding.
Yeah, that's why things I tell students that colloque is so important. You're always going to find yourself in a room with other adults. You have to come to some consensus, some agreement, and people have very different views. So you have to learn how to exchange opinions in a very civil way, very respectful way. Recognize. Yeah, I know. I figure the students, of course, don't see that. You think it's the grown-ups who are in charge.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're
So-
all trying to struggle together.
We get in a room, and I feel like a lot of it is a lot of people feel paralyzed because they don't want to say what they actually feel because they feel like someone is going to just rag them.
In classes?
Yeah, in colloque.
Oh, in colloque.
Yeah, not a lot of people want
Has
to
that been
start
your
arguments.
experience? Oh.
So I didn't know. I've heard Mr. Watson talk about faculty meetings and tell us
yeah?
that there is disagreements, but I've never heard. I just can't imagine.
I'm not saying ugly at all.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
perfect. Just we disagree, and we really say no. I think, and we try to express. And some of us don't get involved in the debate, so people will care about different questions more than other people. Yeah.
You gotta pick and choose your battles.
What's that? You got to choose your battles. That's right. Hey, you're smart. You're a smart young man. So, but very, very friendly. I mean, some of us socialize with each other outside, and some of us don't. But just very friendly. Because people form, friendships. But I mean, I feel supported. We sort of, pat each other in the back, and we all know that everyone's working way too hard, and that, and so we're kind of, I think we're kind and friendly and funny to each other, and that's a really helpful thing. Yeah.
It's always, I don't know. I just wrote a research paper over laughter, and I feel like
Wow.
when someone doesn't have a very good sense of humor, they're gonna end up a lot more unhealthy, stressed, and I mean, laughter is just such a natural medicine.
It really is. It really is. And there are people who are certified laugh leaders and stuff like that. I started yoga this semester, and the woman who teaches my yoga classes also is certified in laugh. She even taught us some yoga
Really?
laugh things. I
You're
forget what we
kidding.
do. Yeah.
How does that work?
It works. I can't remember. You stand up and what do? You pick up something that you want to get rid of and you throw it out or something. I don't know. You do something, but it ends up on one thing. Oh, when you throw it out, then you have to stick out your tongue and go, oh, something, and then so everyone ends up laughing. I don't know.
Seriously?
Stuff like that, yeah.
It's hilarious.
That's really silly.
Shoot,
And
that's
it works.
awesome.
Start laughing.
Yeah, I would shoot. Okay, question number 5. How do you think having worked at the academy will affect your future?
I imagine I will retire after this job, so will affect my future. I mean, I will have been happy that I had the perfect job for me for the last 15 or so years of my life. So I don't know how else to say it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, thank you so much for the second interview.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well done.
You saved
I
me.
know you're a busy, busy week.
Yes. So, all right.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping.